What is going on, everybody? It's Oscar back from the video, and today we're gonna be rocking another mock the mock. Of course, you know that when TDN drops a mock, we listen, we make a good video for you guys. So let's take a look at it. If you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. We're over 2360 subs, which is absolutely awesome. I really appreciate you guys for doing that, and I'm glad to see that the channel is starting to grow again. Let's keep it rolling. All right, so let's kick right into it. No need for a long intro. Starting off with the number one pick, the Jets are taking KT. To be honest, it's not a bad pick at all because I think there are two guys who should be taken at number one. That's KT or Evan Neal. And that's just because I'm a huge fan of building in the trenches. And I think Evan Neal is going to be an absolute stud at the next level. Kind of weird that I don't see that same type of love. Like Penny Sewell didn't even play for an entire year and got like top two hype. And I was a huge Penny Sewell fan. Yet Evan Neal has been progressing exponentially every single game and moving to left tackle, right tackle, and doing just amazing things. And he's not even getting top three buzz, which is kind of weird. But the Jets, they could definitely use a right tackle. I mean, Morgan Moses ain't going to be there forever. Fant is doing a good job stepping in, but there's only so much that those guys can do. There's a definite ceiling to their game. Obviously, KT would be an excellent addition to this team. I don't know if it's the best pick though, given the fact that building the offensive line might be a bit of a higher priority. So again, KT is an absolute rock star. Cannot complain at all. I just nitpicking here would probably go Evan Neal just to make sure Zach Wilson stays healthy. Number two, Jags getting Derek Stingley. They're really regretting trading away CJ Henderson, I'm sure. It is one of the most stupid things that I've ever even heard of. CJ Henderson has shown a shit ton of potential, and they traded away from him for like a third round pick. And they actually had to give a fifth round pick to get Dan Arnold as well. It was like, what the hell is going on there? That was one of the most dumb things I ever heard of my entire life. Regardless, Derek Stingley is a really damn good talent. It is tough for me to say that I'd really want that Derek Stingley over guys like Evan Neal, like Kyle Hamilton. I totally understand where they're coming from. Derek Stingley is looked at as a top two prospect on many people's boards. Can't complain too much. Again, going after a defensive back is never an issue, especially with the fact that Jaguars gave away one of their best. So for nothing. So you know what? I'm not going to complain about it too much. Again, I have just my priorities. Number three, Texans game, Matt Corral. I was one of the people who went out and said this on Twitter. Feel free to follow the links just down in the description. Matt boosted his stock against Alabama, maybe not to the level he could have, but he didn't make mistakes. His offense didn't really do much for him, and he had really no one to throw to. So Matt did actually a really good job. I mean, the running game couldn't even get established. He was the only one who was being effective on the ground. So respect to Matt. Again, I think he did boost his stock. He's definitely within the top two now with Willis as well. Willis is doing a great job, but Matt Corral is an absolute stud. I can't complain too much if the Texans want to get a quarterback because Davis Mills throwing 4 picks against the Bills and not doing jack shit and putting up a goose egg is not really the best thing in the world. I get it. Now, I think there's better options out there in terms of just building the rest of the team, but you can't go wrong getting a quarterback that could actually turn out to be a franchise quarterback. Number 4, you got the Lions getting Kyle Hamilton. Cannot complain. People complained that I did not get an edge rusher for them, but talk shit. Kyle Hamilton is an absolute game changer. He's going to be one of those elite threats. I'm thinking of him similar to Jesse Bates on the field. Just that dominance that he can bring when he's there is unheralded. So big fan of this pick right here, Kyle Hamilton. Again, Evan Neal, my guy, is not really a good option at this spot, given the fact that you have arguably the best tackle duo in the NFL within 3 years. So next, you got Aiden Hutchinson and the Giants. Oof. It's high for him, but you know what? I like it. I just think DeMarvin Leal is better, and he's 290 and plays at Aiden Hutchinson's athleticism, like 260. That's personal preference. And again, TDN has him listed as interior defensive lineman, which is stupid. But Aiden Hutchinson's an absolute game record monster, big riser. They said it right here, biggest risers. Big fan of him. I definitely like what they're doing right there. And getting Evan Neal, too. This is a home run draft. Obviously, You guys know I would go Evan Neal because I go with him number 1 overall. But given how TDN looks at Evan Neal, I get it. So Aiden Hutchinson, Evan Neal, building those trenches again. I would probably say screw Aiden Hutchinson at this point and go with Malik Willis, but that again is personal preference. So far, there's nothing that's been out of the ordinary until number 7. So yeah, I know TDN loves Darian Kennard. I know they do. He's not that good. Okay. He's made some big strides. Big. That's not good enough yet. Not to be number 7 freaking overall. Like, damn, right? Like, shoot. Penny Sewell was number 7 overall. You're saying Darian Kennard has like that type of talent level for his class. I totally disagree with that. But again, I totally get where they're coming from with the fact that given how I know that they love Darian Kennard, they have him listed interior offensive lineman here. I just don't really think a guard, if you're not going to be Quentin Nelson, is worth that pick. I mean, there is a guy who I think is of the Quentin Nelson type of caliber for his position, but he plays center. And that's Tyler Linderbaum. Darian Kennard's not of that league. Next, you got Bengals getting DeMarvin Leal. Speaking of, you could have taken DeMarvin Leal or Kyrie Elem right there. DeMarvin Leal is an absolute stud. The Bengals don't need more pass rush, but I don't think you can complain with the guy who's an absolute game wrecker. If they say he's going to be on the interior, then they're not understanding how to watch DeMarvin Leal. He doesn't move like an interior player. He's 290, which means he'll be oversized. He'll be oversized by some guards on the interior. I just think he's going to be a monster edge rusher. So big fan of DeMarvin Leal right there. Eagles getting Booth. I'm pretty sure Booth's been letting up a little bit. He's shown some good flashes of IQ, but he's also been a little bit porous in terms of some of his coverage. So something I'd watch out for right there. But hey, he has great athleticism. I just don't. It's pick your poison with Booth, Elem, and Gardner, which Sauce Gardner's been going off. So big fan of all of that. But again, good position to prioritize. Number 10, you got Malik Willis to Washington. I'm not going to talk about that because it's an excellent pick. Carson Strong to the Steelers. This is not the type of class that you want to be taking shots at number 11 on a quarterback that's not really that good. Carson has not shown progression the way he should have. He's not getting off his first read. Yeah, he has a big arm. Whoop-de-fucking-do, right? The Steelers need to build elsewhere if you're not going to be getting a top-end talent. And Carson Strong is not a top-end talent in this draft. He's a second-rounder, maybe. That's just because I thought there was a lot of potential to Carson. He showed some good development in game 1, and then he's regressed ever since. Just not really showing what I've been hoping to see from him. The Steelers need help everywhere. Don't think they're going to do much with Dwayne Haskins or Mason Rudolph, but I just don't think that you're going to get much further with another quarterback in the meantime. I do believe that if you are stuck in this situation, Sam Howell's the only one you can feasibly think of taking. Otherwise, you got to be going elsewhere. And that spot could be Kyrie Elem, a high-end corner out of Florida who is an absolute monster. You could look at the offensive line, just don't think it's that good. I really just don't. Trading back would be a really good option as well. The Steelers have quite a few holes that we could fill. Offensive line-wise, we could even trade back and get Kenyan Green if we don't want to keep Trey Turner there. Just trying to brainstorm some ideas here because I would love Tyler Linderbaum, but we got Kenyan Green, which is a little bit unfortunate. But regardless, Carson Strong is probably not the guy I'd be looking for if I were the Steelers. Number 12, Jackson Kirkland. And I had a little bit of a problem with number 11. I have an even bigger problem with 12. This dude cannot stand up to power. There's a guy taking half the number value of 12. Number 6. Yeah, I think it was number 6. Did he get drafted number 6 or number 5? That was Evan Neal at number 6. So at number 5 overall, somebody absolutely embarrassed Jackson Kirkland. Don't know why he's still in consideration as an offensive tackle as a early to mid first. If you can't stand a college level talent that has NFL level power, you're not going to stand NFL level talent with NFL level power. It's just a recipe for disaster. If you want another left tackle that is going to be a revolving door, go for Jackson Kirkland. And that I say that with an asterisk. Of course, Jackson Kirkland has a shit ton of talent, but I think that he's best served for the inside. If you do not have a good anchor on the outside, you do not belong on the outside. The easiest way to get pressure is literally to just push their ass either over, like Liam Eichenberg, or push them away. Like if you just get around them and get to the quarterback, then who gives a damn? One of my biggest issues with when I was looking at Kirkland, I told Broshaw, I was like, hey, dude, this guy's a guard. He's like, dude, he's not. He's 6'7". He's starting to tackle. Look at him now. Look at him now. The guy can't stand NFL power. Is what I had a big problem with Brady Christensen, and now I'm having it with Jackson Kirkland. Not saying he's of that caliber, because Jackson Kirkland actually shows some legit NFL talent. I was heavily against Brady Christensen, so sorry, Panthers fans. But if you do not have an NFL anchor, you do not belong as an NFL blindside tackle to an injury-prone quarterback. That's just reaching heavily. Again, I think the only one who has that anchor right now is going to be Sean Ryan. He's the only one who has a legitimate anchor at the moment. But I don't think even my love for Sean Ryan is not good enough for number 12 overall. Number 13, Eagles game Magi. I just don't really get that. 200% fair. You just paid a shit ton of money to Josh Sweat. If I'm not mistaken, it's around $40 million. And, you drafted Milton Williams to be kind of like that new Javon Hargrave on the interior. You got BG. Again, he's getting older, 100% true. You have a lot of different pieces that do not require you to reach on an edge player. Maiji's been having a good season. I'm glad to see him progress, but he still doesn't look like he's giving full effort. And that's something that was a big, big, big no-no. Like, that was a big red flag for me. I was like, ooh, I do not like that. Maiji's not playing like he actually is, because he was playing a bit heavier than the way he actually looked. He's playing a little bit slower. Just, I could tell that he had a little more juice in him. And then something that was a big iffy for me when I was watching a couple of players last year, it was like, when I don't see you want to work, that really irritates the living hell out of me. I think Tutu Atwell might have been a guy who I saw that was kind of like walking on the field or something. I think Kelvin Joseph was one of those as well. Just, I did not like the personality traits when it came with it. Not saying Maijai has it, but he did have it last year. I would love just to see how he continues to progress and continues to put forth effort this year. Because, of course, he does have the talent to be closer to the top. He does have a good toolbox. Number 14, Olave to the Patriots. As you guys know, I do like that pick quite a bit. I think Garrett Wilson's a better fit, but you cannot complain about Olave. He's an absolute freak at the wide receiver position. 15, Trevor Penning. This is a very high for Trevor, but I don't mind it because the Panthers are A, desperate as shit, B, very into these athletic-ass tackles, because Sean Ryan's not going to be athletic. I think Sean Ryan is the second best tackle in this class as of right now. But Trevor Penning fits perfectly with what the Panthers want. You are looking for a guy who's mobile. You showed that with Brady Christensen. And Trevor Penning has the actual NFL strength to withhold against maybe some power. Granted, there's not much tape on Trevor Penning right now, especially with my plug right now. It's just not too bueno. Regardless, Trevor Penning is a high-level talent. I do appreciate the potential that he does have. It's a reach, in my opinion, but I get where they're coming from. So Trevor Penning does fit really well. I'd trade back. I don't think this mock has trades. So for that position, I don't hate it too much. Kyrie Elem to the Vikings. Do I need to say anything else? That's a wonderful pick. I love sending Kyrie Elem to the Vikings. Unless, of course, Malik Willis or what's his name? DeMarvin Leal are on the board. Those are better fits, in my opinion. But regardless, really damn good fit. Jets getting Trent McDuffie. Don't think that he's better than Sauce Gardner, but it's a really good fit with the Jets. They do desperately need corner help. So, you know what? Getting KT and Trent McDuffie isn't too shabby. Number 18, the Raiders get Jordan Davis. It seems like it's like an actual personality fit. Like I can so see the Raiders going after Jordan Davis. It's so hard to say Jordan Davis is a legit first round talent, like a solidified, bona fide mid-first talent. And the Raiders do have some other issues to handle. So it's weird that they're playing so well. I would just say, it's really tough to say you get a defensive tackle at 18. And I don't like using the word defensive tackle, but he is a defensive tackle or nose tackle. 18, Broncos going Sam Howell. I don't mind it. You know, how Teddy Bridgewater's been able to perform. I think Sam Howell can pretty much do that a lot better. Teddy got hurt, which really sucks. You know, Drew, I think, came in, didn't do too hot. So they do need an actual quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater showed what style of quarterback really works with the team. Sam Howell is that plus a bit more. Again, Teddy has shown that he has some more juice that we haven't even seen in him, but Sam has actual juice. Like, he has legit top end NFL talent. Not saying Teddy Bridgewater doesn't. I just don't know if he does anymore. So that's a good pick right there, in my opinion. Saints getting Treylon Burks. He's been going off. So I think that you'd rather have a separator or a guy after the catch, but I cannot complain about a guy who is an absolute threat at 6'3", 245. So big fan of Treylon Burks. Good for him. Excited to see how he plays after not doing too hot against Georgia. Chargers getting Drake Jackson. I'm so happy to not see him in the top 15. Like, I'll say that. I just think there's so many better edges than Drake Jackson. There's just so many better ones. I just don't get, like, yeah, upside is great, but you're ignoring the fact that all the other edge rushers have similar, if not better, upsides than Drake. I'm just against Drake. I'm one of those Drake haters, but you know, I'm not saying he's like a 5th round talent. I would maybe take him closer to the end of the second. It's just, I need to see consistency. If you're drafted in the 1st round and you can't be consistent against Sean Ryan, who's not even drafted yet, that's a big question mark on you. I just think that there's a lot better edge talents as well. So that's why I'm a little bit saucy about that, or salty. I saw Ahmad Gardner. But speaking of sauce, you got the Cardinals. Wonderful fit, big ass need. I honestly think that it's a weird feeling of mine. I think that he kind of set it up so that the Cardinals can get sauce, because, you know, if you don't get the Cardinals a cornerback in round 1, you're kind of an ass, especially to the Cardinals organization. So, you know, it's a great pick. I love Sauce. I think that he could honestly be the 2nd best corner in this class. He's been going off this year. Titans getting Devin Lloyd. Cannot complain about it. Rashawn Evans is not too bueno, and Devin Lloyd is a 3-down back. Again, he is old. He is a redshirt senior. I don't think he's a 6th year, but Devin Lloyd has a lot of potential there as an every down linebacker that can make a big difference for his team. Cowboys getting Brandon Joseph. I think it's worth taking a shot on. He just doesn't look nearly as good this year. Speaking of looking good this year, the Cowboys defense is going off. Good job to Trayvon Diggs. Shout out to him. I would personally get I would look at another corner legitimately. I know you guys hate that, but I'm not a fan of Kelvin Joseph. I don't have much faith in him. I just think that if you get a top end talent, again, of course, at this point, you don't do that because Sauce is off the board. But if you can get one of those top 5, I would very much consider it. You know, if you have Trayvon Diggs, who is coming out as an all-star corner, as well as another all-star corner, I think it's a bit better than taking a shot on Brandon Joseph. And you guys know me. I had Brandon Joseph above Kyle Hamilton at the start of the year before he changed his body type, it just irritates the hell out of me. Dolphins getting Zion Nelson, another guy with not too good of an anchor. You know, I will consistently say this. Do not change the Dolphins' offensive line for a dude who is not a guaranteed franchise player. I was a fan of Liam Eichenberg last year until he got drafted to the Dolphins. I was like, dude, that's not a good fit. It's not a good fit for him. He doesn't belong in that type of scheme. He needs a more mobile quarterback. His anchor was okay. Now, we found out that his anchor against NFL Power was not too good, and that's what we saw with Will Anderson. But it was worth taking a shot on. Except for the Dolphins, because they shifted their entire offensive line. It's like, dude, why not allow Austin Jackson to be able to take another year of development? Instead, they decided to take him. It just bugged the hell out of me. So this seems very similar to the Liam Eichenberg pick, just somebody who, again, Zion Nelson's used to a mobile scheme. You have Tua. Like, what the hell is Tua going to do? If you're going to trade for Deshaun Watson, we could talk. But he's not built for this offense. I don't know. He's just not really built for it. Packers getting Garrett Wilson. That's a really damn good pick. You got guys like Amari Rodgers, who's really good after the catch. Now you can get Garrett Wilson as well. You know, you can alleviate some of the stress on Jordan Love by being able to let him check down to somebody who can take the ball and take it to the house every play. So big fan of that right there. Browns getting Karlaftis. Oh, I love that. If you guys saw, people were like, oh, he didn't do too well last week. And then there's videos of him getting triple teamed. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. This guy can't fucking defend off 3 dudes. He's not Aaron Donald. But he has that respect from offensive coordinators who have to game plan and divert a heavy amount of their offensive line resources as well as tight ends to be able to block this guy. So that is saying something. You have to watch how like the college coordinators and how the offenses scheme versus players. If the offenses starting to randomly throw a shit ton of targets at Derek Stingley, there's something to be worried about. It shows that the offensive coordinators feel comfortable letting Derek Stingley be tested. Karlaftis, they're like, dude, we cannot let this guy get to the backfield. We need to divert all of our resources to him. He has potential to go top 10. That's how good he is. Again, health is one of the main issues. But this dude scares the shit out of offensive coordinators, and that's something that we need to note. We definitely need to note about him. Ravens getting Kenyan Green. That's a big slip for Kenyan Green. But again, he did get pretty much benched from tackle into guard. That does lower his value, I will say. But Kenyan Green is a solid-ass guard, and I think they fit really well for the Ravens. Granted, I think that it might be Bozeman is playing guard. He is, I think, one of the top PFF-rated guards in the NFL this year. And then obviously you have Zeitler that I believe you gave a 3-year contract. Don't know if he actually fits on the team. This is a weird one for me. But, I think Kenyan Green's great. I think he can actually work with this team. It's just, I don't know if you actually really want to divert the resources to get Kenyan Green over somebody else, maybe like Tyler Linderbaum, who could be really good as a mobile athletic center, especially like if you've seen the clips of Tyler Linderbaum, there's no reason in hell why he's not being drafted top 15. His size, he's 295, 290. Okay. What do you fucking do? This guy's an anchor. It doesn't matter what weight you are if you can withstand the weight coming against you. Like this guy has unbelievable power for his size, and he's also extremely athletic. He could be up there. Creed Humphrey was the most athletic RAS score for a center in the past, 3.5 decades. Tyler Linderbaum has potential to pass that. Very athletic, very strong. Somebody who I have a lot of respect for and someone who I love. So big fan of this pick right here. But honestly, if I'm the Ravens, I'd be checking that out. Number 30, you got the Lions with George Pickens. I just think there's better big receivers on the board. Drake London's on the board. George Pickens, he's going to light up the combine, but he started having drop issues. He doesn't get as good a separation as I really want him to. And he also got an ACL tear. Don't really know why people are still sticking him in the late first. 31, a Cam Kwanu. Big fan of this pick for the Buccaneers. Tackle versatility. He's able to sit as well, unless you want to just start him at guard. He's able to either start at guard and be able to develop as a tackle or sit as a guard/tackle and then be able to step in when contracts are up. A big fan of that pick because he is an absolute freak. They got Cedarius Hutcherson last year from it wasn't NC State. I'm forgetting which one. I think is it South Carolina? It might have been South Carolina. Speaking of the Carolinas, they're going after these athletic monsters to be able to have some potential at getting a freak interior offensive line to help in the run game, which the fact that they ran for -4 yards doesn't really help. So pretty justified. I like the pick. Number 32, Chiefs getting Jahan Dotson. I am going to be continually going against this pick. I love Jahan Dotson. My opinion of him is shot up tenfold. He's my number 10 wide receiver. He's jumping up the list pretty fast. The Chiefs don't need more speed. They made that pretty clear with their free agent signings. You look at Josh Gordon. Yeah, he's a deep threat, but he's a bigger ass dude. You look at Sammy Watkins. Deep threat, bigger ass dude. Jahan Dotson isn't very big. He's 5'11". I think the best fit for the team is a guy like Drake London at this point. A guy who can play in that slot, play on the boundary. He's 6'5", unbelievable after the catch, especially for his size. He's the perfect target. Like having him as well as Kelsey over the middle of the field is dangerous as hell. It's my personal opinion. I just don't really get why Jahan Dotson continues to be mocked to the Chiefs. People thought I was crazy when I said Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs last year because they did try to get Henry Ruggs. If Jahan Dotson posts those type of numbers, maybe we can talk. But sometimes there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and I think Jahan Dotson is just a little too much speed at the end of the first. Now, if he ends up continuing to light it up, has an unbelievable combine, and is being more of that mid-first level talent, apologies for that, he could definitely be worth it. But I just don't see the return on your investment at that point when you can get a much larger receiver that can give you a lot more. So that is going to be the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.